Thanks, Ellie.
One of the great social benefits of sport is the way it brings people together from all walks of life. But a recent Australian rules football match has taken the notion one step further. The game was the brainchild of Reclink, a Melbourne-based charity which provides a football league for the socially isolated. They took on a team from outback South Australia who were battling their own problems, and in doing so revived Aussie rules' fiercest cross-border rivalry. Luke Waters reports.
This time of year, the rolling hills near Jamestown, a few hours north of Adelaide, are green, but not always fertile. Farmers and families do it tough. Here, isolation is the enemy. In rural and remote communities across South Australia's mid-north, rates of depression and suicide hover disturbingly above state and national averages.
Come, fellas!
It was decided the men needed an outlet, both social and physical, and the popular choice was football.
It is the power of purpose, something to look forward to, the social connection.
Go with him,
So backyard footy was born. No one who'd played for a regular team in the past 2 years could join, but that didn't stop the rush.
We thought, oh, well, we'll try and get two teams together. So we put up 2 blank sheets of paper in the local hotel, and they filled within 3 days.
Rodney! Rod dog!
Cameron Hill was one of the first to claim a jumper. The 23-year-old had recently become disillusioned with the game he loved when time on the Pine was as close as he got to the action.
You're waiting for one quarter, it's all right. So, and then you go get the second quarter, you're a bit funny. You're like, I mean, am I going to game or I'm just going to sit here and be a bench warmer? So, and then when it got to third, it's like, nah, I just felt like that. I was that embarrassed that I just wanted to get up and go.
Allowed these fellas to run around in front of their parents and grandparents and mates and just feel proud of who they are.
The shortage of social and health services in outback South Australia saw backyard footy assume an even more important off-field role.
They can talk a fair bit after the game and they've got a lot that they share in common. And then obviously, as we all do as human beings, that starts the networking and can lead from anything from an invitation to a party to an offer of a job and just finding out what's happening around in other people's world.
The inclusive mantra of backyard footy is mirrored interstate. In Melbourne, Reclink hands out jumpers and boots to a group of men with very different backgrounds to their country cousins, but face similar problems of social isolation and depression. Recovering drug addicts, the homeless and disadvantaged have all found a place on the team.
Football is a way of keeping fit, sane and healthy, mate.
Brian Presnell grew up on the streets of St Kilda and survived a life of drugs and violence. It's behind him now, thanks largely, he says, to football. And it's a message he's keen to spread.
Because it takes them away from their drudge, their couch, their bong, their pill, their hit, whatever. Let's get out there, get fit, communicate, become a team, become friends. That's what I like it. There's friends out there, mate.
B. Ryan, full-back.
A chance discussion between Reclink and backyard organisers led to the inception of the Goodwill Cup. The game would take place at Collingwood's spiritual home, Victoria Park, and with it revive Australian rules' fiercest rivalry, the Crow Eaters and the Vics.
A dream come true for a lot of our blokes. They probably never thought they'd play at Jamestown over, let alone at one of the most historic suburban grounds in Melbourne.
I never thought I'd ever be going to go and play over in Melbourne.
The backyarders went all out at selection, opting for the big names. Booger, Brick, Spoons and Gaffer, all now state reps. And for many, like coach Butch Bottrell, the flight to Melbourne was a first.
Left the ground yet, have we? Now we're up.
Pre-match tension in both rooms was palpable.
Righto, fellas, get together. We didn't come all this way to lose to them today. We're going out to flog them. We can't lose to the Victorians. Righto, Booger, lead them out, mate. Come on, let's do it!
Representing Sacred Heart, Reclink stalwart Brian Presnell.
You've been involved with sport for as long as I have. I learnt to dislike South Australia with a passion.
When hostilities commenced, it was evident Victoria had the visitors' measure, at least on the scoreboard.
Bringing farmers who are disconnected and isolated in rural communities of outback SA to Victoria Park, to the heartland of football. You can just see today what it means to them. Today's just a great celebration, I think, for footy.
The siren ended a sorry day for the South Australians. It was about far more than the score.
Oh, yeah, I'll go back proud. I mean, I'm happy as hell.
A sentiment shared by the winners, especially the man who best summed up the spirit of the day.
I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because this is the 9th year of my season and I couldn't be a prouder bastard if I tried.
Luke Waters reporting. That's the program for tonight. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow, but for now, good night.